Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing this cute little set. It's just a super easy, really easy Halloween design. So if you are someone who is not super good at doing any type of nail art, I feel like this is one that you should definitely try just because it is so easy as long as you have the right tools. Alright you guys, so to get in today's video, basically what we are going to be doing is getting this desert rose, and the size brush I am using is size 12. Both of these are from Montage Nail Supplies. And if you guys do want a discount code, I do have one linked down below, so definitely check that out. And the hand that I am using is also from Red Iguana. Red Iguana, honestly, the silicone hand, I've had it maybe for about a year now, and so far she's going good. I do not glue the tips down. I know a lot of people had questions about that, if I glue the tips down on her. And I don't, just because I do notice even if the super glue kind of gets stuck a little bit on like her cuticle area down on the sides, I do notice that I can't get it off without a tiny bit of the silicone actually ripping off. So definitely make sure that you don't get it on the skin. So sometimes, honestly, I just glue the tips. I'll pull the tips down where it's not completely on the skin, and then after I'll put them back up like once the glue has dried, just so it doesn't stick to the hand, and the hand stays in good shape for longer periods of time, just because these hands are expensive and I don't want to be buying a hand every so often, especially considering how much they are. But how I like to work is actually do the tips of the acrylic first, build it up to the thickness that I do want it, just because I do feel like this kind of helps make everything so much easier, and then you just kind of pull into the next bead. So I don't know, I feel like me blending the beads out this way is so much faster for me, and I don't know, like I feel like I just get a better look. The acrylic comes out a lot more smoother. And then with around the cuticle, you're just going to want to like kind of like push it into the cuticle just a little bit without touching the cuticle. Just so it gets nice and tight in there, just because if you don't end up doing that, then chances are you're going to end up having like a big gap, and it looks like your clients already need to fill when they literally just got their nails done. So, and something that I have been doing too is actually letting my acrylic kind of settle a little bit before I play with it. You guys can't really tell just because in this video I do have it super sped up, just so you guys don't have to be sitting here watching a super long video. But yeah, you guys, if you guys need like a go-to nude, I definitely recommend this one. This one is a really pretty color. The camera is picking it up like kind of like there is like a little bit of brown in there, but I promise you guys it is more of a lighter pink. Sometimes like my camera, I don't know what it is, but it kind of just picks up the colors really weird. But I've definitely been trying to work on it just because it just recently happened. It wasn't something that had always happened. But if you guys see this on my Instagram, you guys will actually be able to see the actual color of it. And then making sure I build my apex, cleaning up that cuticle. You guys, something that I have been really into lately is just the structure of my nail, like just different ways of doing it, just because I feel like before, the way I would do nails before, like, don't get me wrong, like I feel like there was nothing wrong with it, but I do feel like nail trends, they do change. So I've been trying to teach myself different methods of laying acrylic and just all this different stuff I've been teaching myself. And on Instagram, if you see that there's tip page for nail artists and you are a beginner nail tech, I recommend getting them, just because if you think about it, their classes are, shoot, like the classes for nails, it is kind of like $500 or so, but their tip page usually averages around $60 to get into, unless they're like a super crazy pro artist that like hand paints everything. I think their stuff will definitely be a lot more, but usually if they're like more of acrylic applications, I do notice that they're around $60. So this method, I don't want to say who I learned the method that I am using from, but she is a really, really good nail artist, and I have been trying it out, and I do feel like I've seen improvements in my own work. Alright, you guys, now I'm going to go ahead and clean off my brush and then put it in the brush cleaner, making sure I don't leave any acrylic in there, because times, even though I don't think that there is any acrylic built up in there, I promise you, clean out your brush and you will notice a big difference. It'll be so much easier when you work with it. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and start shaping. I like to shape the edges first and then go over the top. So you guys could see that I ended up doing all the sides first, making sure everything was nice and straight. And even if underneath needs to be filed, I end up doing that too. And then when you are doing this, you really, really, really want to make sure that you see scratch marks across all of the surface and kind of work in one section going to the other. So if you're like at the top of the apex, kind of just work your way down. Next, we're just going to go ahead and get this arbor band, and then we are going to be blending that cuticle, making sure everything looks seamless. And then from that cuticle, we're going to blend that apex and everything down into the rest of the nail. And I'm not sure if I mentioned, but the file that I do recommend if you guys are filing acrylic nails is an 80/80 grit. Honestly, especially if you're a beginner nail tech, but make sure you file the sides off so you don't end up cutting your clients. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and go in with this little buffer. These are really cool just because since it is single use, I don't feel like I end up wasting as much. And honestly, you guys, something that I don't really talk about is just like basically like how much trash we make. And so basically, I do try to cut down the amount of trash that I put in the landfill. So that is something that I've just been doing for a little while. So that is kind of why I switched to a smaller buffer like the one that I did. And I know you guys might say, like, why haven't you switched to an even smaller one? Because they have those little 1 by 1 blocks. And honestly, you guys, I feel like after you're like, I would need both sides to file the nails. So honestly, I feel like those don't really work for me, unfortunately. I wish they would, just so then I didn't have to waste as much product. But I mean, the fact that I was able to cut it down in half, I personally am like super happy about. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and prep all of my art stuff, get the paints out that I need, which are just going to be white and black. But I wanted to wipe down my plate because I was trying to do this super cute artwork before this video, and honestly, you guys, I don't know why, but midway through, I just hated the way it came out, and I completely trashed it, and I was like, you know what, let's start over, let's do a new video. So, you guys, honestly, I want to tell you guys too, is that with YouTube, it is no joke. There's so much content that we actually sit down and film that never even gets posted. So I don't know. Sometimes I wish I would post it just because it's so funny because some of the videos that I don't think will do well, honestly, they end up being your guys' favorites. So I'm like, maybe I should just post them and show my failed attempt of things. But yeah. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and put my little ghost on there, and then I'm going to dot. The next thing I'm going to do after I loaded my brush, making sure that there is paint inside of the bristles, I am just going to sweep in like away from the dot. So each side just sweep away from the dot. And when you do this, make sure you cure, especially if you end up putting matte over it, just because I do feel like with matte, I noticed that the product, it needs more cure time. So yeah, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and actually hand paint this one. I just wanted to see if it would end up coming out different, and I do feel like the lines ended up coming out cleaner. But if you guys wanted to do it super simple and fast, the first method of just painting it on with the actual brush of the bottle, you could do that as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and dot my areas. I kind of wanted to start over just because I felt like I didn't like the other one. So here we are, starting over. But I feel like I kept going back and forth about how I wanted to do this set. So now I decided I was going to start on another finger and then just kind of go from there. And on top of that, try another method. So paint with the brush first and then line around it. But in all honesty, guys, the easiest way for me to do this was actually paint my little ghost first and then paint inside the lines. Just because I felt like it was a smoother application on the sides and whatnot. So definitely recommend that first just because you guys could see the big difference in it. And now I'm just going to go ahead and do the little dots and pull away from the dot. Don't pull into the dot because if you end up doing that, it's going to end up looking more like a cross than a star. And then just adding tiny, tiny, tiny little dots in between each of the little ghosts and whatnot. Alright, you guys, and when you do this, you're really, really going to want to make sure that you cure for 120, especially when it comes to the white and the black. You really want to make sure that you're curing that because if you don't, it's going to smear, and you guys will see at the very end of this video the masterpiece I created and for it all to end up smearing. So stay tuned for the very end so you guys could see my fail. I'm glad it was my practice hand and not my actual client because I would be super bummed out. Alright, now I'm just going to go ahead and finish the rest of the nails, you guys, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. Please let me know if you guys enjoyed it, if there's some things that you guys would like to see different. Make sure to comment down below. I love the environment that I have here on my channel just because I feel like everyone is so sweet and kind to each other, so thank you guys for that and always making it like a positive place for other nail techs to come and comment down below and not judging people for like the right or wrong answer, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of these and let me know what you guys think. Alright, you guys, and with the black again, I would highly recommend letting it go for 120 seconds. Now I'm going to go ahead and go in with this montage matte, and we're going to go ahead and just paint the rest of them. Okay, you guys, you can't notice it on that one, but once we go ahead and go over to the ghost face, not the first couple swipes I did it, it ended up actually being like that swipe. You guys could see the ghost completely dragged. So I ended up having to put the rest of the remainder of them into the light, and I was super bummed out just because I felt like, I don't know, I was really happy about it, but look, it ended up doing it to the other one too. Alright, you guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and my little mistakes, so please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel, and as always, I'll be back with more videos.